Noé says to my brother, if you're gonna test cacao, there's one tree. Now there's probably like 50,000 trees in the canyon where we operate. And he had his heart set on this one particular tree. And it was growing on the farm of a fellow named Fortunato, Don Fortunato Chocolate. And that's who our company's named after. So we go out there and Noé pulls Brian over and he says, look at this tree. And there was just something about the tree, its size and the way the cacao pods hung and the way it flowered and the way, like its natural productivity, the shapes of the cacao pods. It just struck him as the most beautiful tree he had ever seen. And he said, this is the most important tree for us to test. After a few months, the USDA called my dad and said, hey, we got the test results back. It's astounding what you sent us. Everything that you sent us is 98% pure. But there's one sample that you sent us, the number 4 tree on Fortunato's farm is a 99.99% genetic match for Pure Nacional. It's the most pure expression of Pure Nacional that's ever been tested since genetic testing could be done on cacao. Down the line, we started taking twigs off the mother tree and we opened up a clone garden. And so that mother tree has become the mother of about 5,000 new trees in the canyon that farmers have propagated if they want to join our project and sell cacao to us. We made our first sale to a chain of Swiss bakeries in 2010. And then in 2011, we were written up by the New York Times. In 2013, we were featured on Parts Unknown with Anthony Bourdain. And that gave us a big boost. So from 2013 to 2018, we were selling chocolate and cocoa beans in 40 countries. And it was being served exclusively in these really fancy restaurants. Way back at the beginning of the business, people thought we were gonna come, try this whole cacao thing, and then leave. The promise that we made was, we're not going anywhere. But when COVID hit and restaurants started to get shut down, we stopped getting purchase orders. And every year, more and more farmers were coming into the project. So 2020 was shaping up to be our biggest cacao harvest ever in history. And the sales that we would normally depend on to get us through the cacao harvest did not materialize. I told my dad and my brother there was still one thing we could try. We could try to open up an e-commerce business. We set up a website, fortunatochocolate.com. I took some classes on how to do Facebook and Instagram advertising. We opened up a shop on Shopify. And this is something that the chocolate buying public had never heard of before. Because the only people who had ever heard of it, again, were these restaurant professionals. And in a couple of months, we got 20,000 online customers. And I could tear up right now, so let me just be cool. We started to really take off May of 2020, and then the summer showed up, and we realized that it was going to be too hard for us to ship chocolate because chocolate would melt on the way. The idea that came up was the idea of opening up a retail location here in Issaquah. When we opened up the shop in November 2021, it was a very strange place. It was this big open area. In the corner, we were doing our e-commerce shipping. We had 5 or 10 tons of chocolate on pallets in another corner. We had a counter, and then we just had towers of 1.1 pound blocks of chocolate. I would spend 2 or 3 hours a day just walking around talking to strangers in the street, giving them flyers and begging them to come over to our shop and give us a chance. People would come in to get a free hot chocolate and they go, all right, so what do you sell? And we just say, just these bricks of chocolate. Javier Valencia was a cook who had 20 years of culinary experience. In the years leading up to the time when we started working together, he owned a cake business. He really liked making cake. He didn't like getting calls from anxious brides and grooms wanting to know if their cake was ready yet at all hours of the night. And then he also got COVID and got sick and got laid up for a while, so he was in a transitionary period. Javier came in and he offered to work the register, but when it was quiet, Javier would turn around to these little metal tables that we had purchased and start experimenting with making products. And in a very short period of time, he developed dozens of products just on a couple of metal tables. And when When the word got out that we had good products, we started to get a little following here in Issaquah just in the course of a few months. Quickly, our kitchen staff went from Javier and an assistant to about 10 full-time employees. And it was pretty obvious that we just didn't have enough space in our first location. So we opened up a retail-only location here in Issaquah. And Javier continued to pump out products such that I think we have maybe 50 or 60 products that are all winners. What I really love is to be in a shop and see the people from the neighborhood come in, see little kids with chocolate on their face, see dads with their kids coming in every Saturday to buy their favorite chocolate snacks or to eat ice cream or to get hot chocolate, and that warms my heart.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing? All right, good to see you. Hey, go on in for a free hot chocolate.